Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the RP Experience. I'm your host, Andrew Regenard. Today, we have Taylor Canada, one of our top producing agents here on the podcast.
Thanks, Andrew. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're excited. All right. So Taylor Canada, actually, you've been in real estate, since you were really a small kid. Taylor was born and raised here in Naples and has been involved in his family's home building as well as real estate companies since the 1970s. Taylor is married with 2 children and 1 on the way. Super. I think when people are actually listening to this, Taylor, they are going to have a third. So
3 weeks.
Probably won't be coming out until after your child is born. So already I'm going to say congratulations in the future for everyone. So 3 kids. Well, welcome on, Taylor. We're excited to have you. So can you just, tell us the life in Taylor's, or tell us a little bit about Taylor's, upbringing as a kid, everything. I mean, you were surrounded with real estate as a young kid, right?
Yeah. So born and raised here in Naples.
Mm-hmm.
My family was highly involved in the developing aspect, building, real estate end. My sister's in it. My father's in it. So I was kind of groomed and raised around it.
Mm-hmm.
Just sitting, listening to my father at dinner conversations, talking with people, me in the other room,
Right.
constant meetings and stuff like that. So I was always surrounded by it. Didn't know if that was what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought I would kind of follow in the form of the building aspect of it. But, kind of as it developed, I kind of found, okay, I want to be more in the real estate end of it.
The selling and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yep.
What piqued your interest initially?
Well, actually, I got into the building end of it. So
Okay.
I worked in my father's office doing the bids and estimating in the office. Didn't like the whole 9 to 5, sitting there doing paperwork, doing numbers. Numbers wasn't really my thing.
Okay.
And then I would walk onto some of these job sites and see some of these agents walking in and, coming in and dressed up and in their suits and selling and making good money, and kind of just took an interest in that. It kind of piqued my interest as far as what these guys do on a day-to-day. They don't have a 9 to 5. They kind of make their own time. They kind of take creative approaches.
Yeah.
So that kind of intrigued me.
Yeah. Interesting. What did you not like about the building side of things?
It was a lot of, not that there's not a lot of following up in real estate, but just a lot of the kind of the estimating and the bidding. And then I started a staining company. So started doing the manual labor, doing wood staining, so wood finishing.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was kind of like, I don't want to be doing manual labor. It was good. I started my own business, a wood staining company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just got into it and just said it wasn't really for me.
Right.
So it was the real estate end. My sister started and my father started a real estate company. So that's where I was like, okay, I think maybe this is what I want to explore and do. I wasn't sure if it was what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
You were young at that time. No one knows. People change careers way late or older than both of us.
I was
right?
ready to move to Costa Rica and work on a fishing and dive boat.
There you go.
And I was like, you know what? I'll get my real estate license and test this out.
Yeah.
So,
Catch some big old tuna down there and have a good old time.
Yep.
So, well, love it. Well, obviously that didn't come true. Now, did you move away? I swear, anyone that's born here always moves away. Did you ever move away?
I didn't. I didn't.
I think you're one of the few.
I went to school in Gainesville in community college for building construction up there, and then came back and went to work for my father. And it's just hard for me to leave Naples.
It is. It's so beautiful here too. Yeah. It's, we're going to obviously just deal with a big hurricane and stuff, and there's always going to be something no matter where you live, but it's always, it's already beautiful again. We had some destruction, but they're already cleaning it up, and it's back to like, wow, this is a beautiful town. So can't really beat it. But there's a lot going on.
To your point, most people that grow up here as young, they're like, oh, Naples is so boring. It's like, I got to get out of here. So,
but they move and they come back. They think the grass is greener on the other side. It's not.
Yep.
And you probably kind of witnessed it when you went to Gainesville, right?
Yeah.
Like you get up there and you're like, yeah, okay, this is cool. But
and that's just a college town. So, and had a little too much fun.
Right? We all did. I went to North Dakota and there's nothing to do up there.
Yeah.
I literally was in aviation and I was like either flying or out hanging out, drinking with friends. It's like there's no mountains there. There's no really outdoors there. It was like Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
and it was cold in the winter.
Yeah,
Definitely
couldn't do that.
don't
I
recommend
go
that.
north of Fort Myers and I get
Yeah.
skin gets chapped. I mean, it's like I like a dry up.
You know,
I
I've been
need
going
the
up to
humidity.
Tampa a couple of times for my mother and help her out. And it's even like chilly up there.
Yeah,
Like we
it's
were,
10 degrees difference.
and I'm like, it's not even a 3 hour drive.
Yeah.
Like we really are kind of spoiled in the sense it's hot down here. So when did it transition? What year was it when you transitioned from like more of the building side, the stadium business, everything into real estate?
So I got my license, passed the test in 2013.
Okay.
Really didn't start doing it full time until probably late 2015.
Gotcha.
I think my first sale was 2015. And you know, I mean, it's real estate, so it doesn't happen overnight. So
Oh, really? A lot. I don't know. There's a lot of new realtors and they think it happens overnight.
So
like they just get calls
Yeah.
like, hey, can you list my place?
yeah,
And
just
$5 million
phone starts
house.
blowing up as soon as you pass the test. It's crazy.
Well, it does,
It's awesome.
but it's from all the brokers.
Yeah.
And it's from all the people
Yeah.
like, oh, you got your license.
Yeah.
Come work
Yeah.
over here.
So
Right.
no, that spent that 2 years kind of just really, you know, and I was fortunate and blessed enough to have a foot in the door in the area I wanted to be in, which is in that downtown area, the west of 41 communities. So with my father having a building business, fortunately, as I was getting into real estate, he was transitioning into, he got diagnosed with leukemia, so he had to retire. So as I was getting my license, he went through 5 years of chemo and stem cell transplants and everything
Wow.
like that. He's doing okay now, but
That's good.
so that's when I got into the business. So,
Right.
but I had my foot in the door in the area I wanted to be, which is a huge blessing.
Yeah.
So I just focused in that couple of years, just really getting to know that market, studying the comps and lot size and setbacks and building codes and restrictions and all that kind of stuff.
All right. So there's so many new agents that like watch this boom and they're in it. And if they're listening, you know, people have said like, I've studied the area. Like, what are like 2 to 5 suggestions, however many you have? Let's just say 3 suggestions, like actual tangible things that people can do to study a given area. Like, what would you recommend, especially being so knowledgeable and stuff? Like, what are the most critical things people can like be like, if you're going to farm, let's say an HOA or community or whatever it is, like, what do they need to do?
Again, excuse me. I think it's just picking what area you really want to specify in and becoming an expert. And it's whether it's driving around, seeing who's tearing down what, you know, what building signs, what builders, call on the signs, ask the builders, what are you charging price per foot? Just studying all the comps, getting in open houses in that area is huge. So when you gather all this information, you have it, somebody walks in, either you're sitting floor in the office or you're sitting in open house. Sorry. When somebody walks in, you can just hit them with all this knowledge. They say, oh, I live on, you know, such and such. Well, oh yeah, I saw the house next door is getting torn down and the house across the street sold for this and the one down here sold for this. And then you automatically got their attention. They're like, wow, okay, this person's dialed in. And
it lets them feel like they're comfortable enough to ask you that next question that they have.
Yep.
Because I guarantee they got out of the car with so-and-so or whatever, husband, wife, whatever, and they're like, have a question, but they're not ready to. And so if you show them that you have the knowledge, they're probably going to be like, oh yeah. Also, hey, have you heard about this? And be like, oh yeah, I did or not. Right.
Right. Yeah. You have that few seconds for that first impression. And the first few questions they ask is what's going to really get their attention. They're going to say, okay, this guy kind of knows what he's talking about, or he's kind of BSing, which I think the BSing is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
You don't know, I don't know, but I'll find out.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because you know, a lot of new agents they're unfortunately, they don't know what they don't know yet, and like the thing about it is, instead of BSing, just be truthful, because I don't know the statistics, but majority I hear of people moving down here, it's not their first home.
Yeah,
it's not that they're not successful.
They've had other agents.
Most of them are business owners.
Yep.
They know the stuff, right? Like they might, quote unquote, look, you know, not wealthy, dumb, whatever, like uneducated, but they're probably extremely educated, and they're probably just kind of testing you. So the worst you can do is probably just, you know, BS, and then they're like, this guy's full of it, you know?
Absolutely.
So, well, good. So So study it, know the roads, know everything, just dive fully down, you know.
Yep. Just dissect your area. Just know everything you can about it.
I love it. All right. We featured you in Real Producers, and one of the things you said, in the quote you used, is, and a business approach is that you wake up every day and you think you're unemployed and you ask yourself, what am I going to do today to find someone to hire me to help them buy and sell a home? And do you still do this? Like, can you explain on why you do that? You're very successful. You're in the, you know, top tier of the agents down here. You know, people get complacent. Why do you keep that mindset each and every day?
Kind of exactly like you said, to kind of not get complacent, to keep myself grounded and hungry and trying to generate new business. So, you know, I'll kind of go through my list and say, okay, what came on the market? Do I have buyers for this? And then kind of go through, okay, my listings, what can I do to try to better the position for these listings? And then it's, okay, well, that's done. Answer my emails. Now it's getting, like I said earlier, kind of get in the car, drive around, see, is there any new signs in the ground that people haven't listed? Is there any for sale by owners? Just information, just something, taking a creative approach and keeping myself like, not on salary. So if I don't get up and find work for that day, I'm not getting paid. Mm-hmm. So that's how I kind of try to keep it to where I stay humble and grounded and kind of just keep moving forward and growing the business. Because if not, you just sit and wait for the phone to call. It will probably happen through leads, through, you know, referrals and all that kind of stuff. But
what do you think your referral percentage is of business?
So I haven't been doing it terribly long. So say 2016 to now, but I'd say referral is probably about 40 to 50%.
So that's a key thing to think about. And I honestly anticipated 70 to 80% because most of the agents that are in that top 50 bracket of, you know, like of Collier County, their claim to fame is I work almost always on referral. I don't ever really take on new blah, blah, blah. And so you're out there generating new business, and people need to understand that, like, doesn't matter what bracket you're in, you need to continuously do that, right?
Yeah. So my business for the first 5 years was all, I'd say 80% buyers, because I was sitting a ton of open houses and sitting a lot of floor. So I would get people to come in, and then I would sell, you know, find them something and they'd buy. And then eventually buyers turn into listings. So I'm starting to see that now, and then they're happy and then they refer. So I'm starting to now, my referral business is beefing up, and I'm starting to get a lot more listings than I used to have.
Gotcha. Now, you were born here, so I think you can sell the lifestyle, but like, give me or give the listener, maybe they're not from down here, a understanding of the lifestyle of Naples. When someone comes down, like, why does everyone move to Naples?
It's the best. I mean,
yeah, but what's the best about why?
And that's the biggest thing that sells it is the lifestyle, you know. I mean, so you just, the golfing, the boating, the restaurants, you know, go to Sunset, give them restaurant suggestions, take them out to a restaurant, take some clients out in the boat. And once they get a taste of the lifestyle, they're like, this is hard to beat. Mm-hmm. And then that's what really sells them. So, you know, they were like, well, we were thinking about getting a rental, but geez, we just love it. We want to spend as much time here as possible. Mm-hmm. So I think that lifestyle is the biggest thing that sells Naples. Yeah. And it sells itself. I don't even have to sell it.
I think you just show them,
you
right?
Do. Yeah. You just make suggestions, and, you know, I mean,
I've played golf with you, and you know, and I know you get out on the boat. We featured that within the article as well, and you love to fish and bring your family out. That's pretty awesome, and I think that's, you know, what a lot of people turn to South Florida for, right? And we are blessed. We're super blessed to have such amazing, you know, waterways and different things and beaches. So pretty cool. That's how often do you kind of be able to get your clients out? I mean, I know you're still in your building stage of your business, and, you know, actively, obviously, treating yourself like unemployed and searching for clients. How often are you able to get out and kind of maybe play golf with clients, or go out, show them stuff on the boat?
It's actually the opposite. So I only usually get to golf and boat in the summer, because I don't want to be on the boat when it's cold. If I have to wear a sweater on the boat, I don't want to go. Yeah. So, but golf, you know, summer's the slow time. Mm-hmm. And then it's expensive and it's crowded and it's hard to get on in the winter.
Season,
So
yeah.
actually, instead of it's me taking my clients out golfing, I'll get to golf maybe an average once a month in season, and it's my clients saying, "Hey Taylor, you want to go play, Naples National or Hole in the Wall?"
Right.
I'm like, "Heck yeah, let's do it!"
Right?
So yeah,
Like, please.
yeah. So
some of those courses,
yeah.
like, yeah,
But like taking them out fishing and stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
yep.
So you mentioned the area that you mostly deal with, right? In the close to the beach, west of 70, west of 41. A little bit more influential areas, but also areas close to the coast. And we just had a crazy hurricane, and so you've been very busy. You've been helping a lot of your clients, and we'd love to hear what's happening in your area and in your market within real estate post Hurricane Ian.
Yeah. So leading up to the hurricane, the 3 months leading up to the hurricane, I was actually, I don't know if I want to say getting a little nervous, but it was slow.
Mm-hmm.
My phone was quiet, not much business happening, and then the storm hit, which it impacted, again, communities, mostly west of 41 with the storm surge. I was personally affected. So,
yeah.
And I can feel for it, but it just is right now. It's just, I'm extremely busy, just kind of shuffling people around, people that did get storm surge that either, can't rebuild or all the uncertainties with insurance and the FEMA regulations and, oh, we don't want to get flooded again. So we want something that was high and dry or new construction. Tons of phone calls. What's our lot worth if we can't rebuild? It seems not to really be scaring a lot of the people off. They just want to have this not happen again. They want to find something.
So they're being smarter about it.
And not putting money into a home that just got totally flooded and for it to potentially happen again, because I think that's going to be an issue moving forward, is the resale on homes that had significant water damage due to flooding. It's going to be the first question people are asking in those.
For a long time.
West of 41, did it flood in Ian? Mm-hmm. And then if you have to answer yes, we did X, Y, and Z to make sure it was remediated properly. This was a 100-year storm, 500, whatever you want to call it. But still, people, it's going to always be on the back of their mind in a question.
Do you think most of the homes that did flood, especially like the older homes that are like single levels, do you think most of them are going to probably tear down and rebuild?
A lot of them, yeah.
What percentage do you guess? And this is obviously not holding you to it or anything.
Yeah, no, that's tough to say. I mean, we're going to see a lot of came on the market, and we're going to see a lot more. There's a lot of people that are trying to figure out the insurance and FEMA, and a lot of people that haven't even came down yet to really.
They're still in shock.
They're still in shock. They've got
they don't
home watch companies dealing with it, and they came down and haven't really seen it firsthand. So we're going to see a lot more land opportunities come up, but we've seen a lot, and a lot of them have been getting absorbed. So it's not like they're just, I don't want to say flood the market, but for lack of a better word, but a lot of inventory coming on.
Yeah.
But they're getting bought up. The good ones are getting bought up if they're priced right.
But okay, so all right, I got flooded out, and I'm like, Taylor, give me something else. You find something else, and let's say I didn't get flooded out. Let's say I'm just coming down and I buy up one of these, right? The problem that I'm hearing is that there's a big delay. Is that true? Like on building permits and isn't every contractor slam busy? So even if they want to build or what's going to go on that? We are already delayed. I mean, my mother's building, it's 2-year build.
Absolutely.
And it should.
I'm getting ready to build my house and it's nuts. So yeah, that's the issue, why something that's ready to go, either new construction or that didn't get flooding, is going to be in high demand, because the lots, you have to be able to digest that you're going to have a 2-year build process. Building costs are high. So a lot of people are like, I don't want to build. I don't want to go through this, or even remodel, go through the whole remodel process. So that's why I think we're really going to see a push for new construction, which we have limited inventory as it is, at least, west of 41. And it's going to impact communities east of 41. And it already is, because those people, entry-level Park Shore or those people, they still need homes, and they don't have, not everybody, those people bought 20 years ago, not everybody has $6 million, $7 million for a new home.
Yeah.
So they're going to go out to, communities off airport or
different places. Yeah.
And because they need a home.
just going to increase. I guarantee, I don't know the percentage, but there is a percentage. I guarantee that someone will calculate with all their mathematical, AIs and whatnot, of like how much every single lot value of home went up if they didn't get flooded.
Yep.
Because everyone that did not, if they didn't take water into it, was like, ooh, you're lucky. It's kind of that like, oh, lucky you,
Yeah.
It's going to be
Absolutely.
insane. So new builds, remodels is going to be crazy. Interesting. Have you been able to get out on the water or anything to see kind of the destruction? I mean, how do you feel like the operations of Naples is going to go? Like I know the beaches are still closed, but like people are going to come down if their boat was spared. They're going to want to do the boating, the golfing, and the beaches, right? So how do you think that's going to be impacted for this upcoming season?
I think Naples is usually bounces back pretty quick. I mean, this was basically a Category 5 hurricane we took right on the chin, almost worst case scenario.
Really was,
it just stalled right on us and surge and everything.
That's why the surge was so bad.
Yep.
It was 40 mile an hour. Like it was moving at such a snail's pace.
Just sat there. So, I mean, it was almost worst case scenario. In Naples already, 3 weeks after the storm, you had some restaurants open on 5th. The cleanup down, you still drive down there and you're kind of in shock, but from what it was, the cleanup's already really moving along pretty well. I think give it another month or two. If you go to walk down Fifth Ave right now, it's almost business as usual. 3rd Street, some of those restaurants are still received significant flooding, but golf courses are back opening. The water's kind of clearing up as far as boating. I think as soon as it gets cold up north and that snow starts falling and we're cleaned up and season hits, it's going to be, and it gets cleaned up. It's not going to be out of sight, out of mind, but it's going to be a lot less uncertainty than it is now and panic.
And note to everyone, still be safe, right? If you're out on the water, like I was talking to someone today and they said that their friend was out and they weren't going super fast, but they hit a hot tub.
Oh yeah. So I went 80 miles offshore a couple weeks ago and it was a client's nice boat who has autopilot, but we were all still eyes on the water because it could hit like a dumpster that's submerged, or just a palm tree or anything, and totally. So it is.
That reminds me of up north, because up north the waterways, we grew up boating up north, it would flood from the snow every season, and what it would do is it'd pick up all the stumps and the trees and everything. And I remember every year people would sink boats because they would start going right when, the first time they could go boating, they start going and they would hit everything. And that's the problem. There's so much stuff in the water right now. Just be careful.
Yep. Yeah. And half of it's, you look at the dome homes that went down in Cape Romano. So those are boaters that don't really know what they're doing. First time rental boaters out of, Cape Romano or Marco, drive right over that thing and hit it. I can't believe they haven't marked it or something. Put a marker there.
But that's the thing. We're frantically trying to clean up everything. And you can't do everything at once, right?
Yeah.
Even, I don't know. Maybe the markers are okay, but I heard a lot of markers got moved and everything. So it's like, just drive safe. Yeah. If you're not, you haven't been out there before and your boat has GPS where kind of where to go and there's the tracks and stuff. It's like, just be careful.
Still, those tracks, you don't know what's in the track now.
Yeah, it was clear.
Yeah.
Is it clear post the end?
Yeah.
All right, so switching gears for a second, do you have a morning routine, and what is it?
Morning routine. So I get up, help the wife with the kids, get baby cereal and get her situated. And then really the first thing I do, I usually get on the computer and I start checking emails, which that's kind of, I just can't help it. My phone's next to my bed. I look at my phone and I see all the stuff. Brain starts going.
Yep. Kind of kicks you in.
Yep. And I wish I had a better morning routine with like some kind of reading or, all that, but I can't help myself.
Yeah, I'm in the same way. And I'm trying to figure it out. Like I have the sleep mode on my phone and I want to not look at anything till a certain time because I like to get up and work out. But the problem is right when I wake up, you get inundated with it and you want to respond. And then it's even on your mind. Like for me, it's on my mind when I'm working out. So anyone out there that has suggestions for us, let us know.
Seriously, I haven't figured it out.
Or how to do it. Like actually execute it. Because we all say that, right? Yeah. We all want a morning too. We all want to do this
perfect reading time and coffee and meditation. And really it's like ding and then leads to 6 other things. And
And most of the people are already up, right? The people we deal with are all going. You send an email and you're getting a response. You're like,
yep. What? And then it leads to 2 other emails.
And then they're calling you like, oh, you're awake? I'll call. You know, it's like, oh,
I do try to get to the gym though around like 9 or 10 o'clock.
Okay.
You know, I mean, that's not, so just I'll answer my stuff and then I'll see it come in. I'll get my workout, then I'll get dressed and then I'll do the day as far as.
You're an animal. I can't do that. I see all that stuff and like, I can't focus on the gym. Like I got to go right in the morning and get it out of my way, out of the other. Otherwise I get inundated and busy. Yeah. So I want you to answer this question. You can think about it for a second too. What is the single best advice that you've ever received? It could be from a family member. It could be from a mentor, but the single best advice someone's ever given to you.
The most important thing I've learned in my life is probably, and it's something I struggled with, is not to procrastinate and not to be lazy. You know, not to put things off. I mean, as far as a business sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was a procrastinator for a long time.
Most people are.
It's like, I'll do it later. And then I would get anxiety and it just would. So I was just like, you know what, just knock it out. My father actually said, you're not going to be good in real estate because you procrastinate. He's like, you put things off too much.
Yeah.
He's like, it's a business. You can't. He's like, you have to deal with it.
And you have to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
There's so many things you have to get ahead of.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did hear, and I wish I would remember so I could give credit. It was you know, someone, you know, a podcast or something, but it was the 5-minute rule or something. If it takes less than 5 minutes, just do it right then or something.
Spend more time
or 5 seconds. I think it was 5 seconds, whatever.
Spend more time thinking about it.
Yeah.
Than actually, I spent more time thinking about all this stuff. I'll do it later. Oh, and it's like, if I just would have handled it, I didn't have to think about it. So
one of the things I work on is try to keep my inbox, you know, on your email clear, right? And
I'm like obsessive about that, and it's bad.
What about notifications on your phone? Does that bother you?
Yeah.
I hate it. Like, I hate like seeing all the
email and the text ones are like and it's bad because I'll be driving and my wife will be like, it can wait till we get home. And
I know.
Like, okay.
I know. Hey, they have Teslas for that, right? They drive yourself. Shout out to Tesla. Taylor needs one. Try yourself.
Come on, Elon.
Oh, I love it. All right. We're actually out of time, which is crazy. It flies by. But Taylor, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We really appreciate it.
Yep. Glad to be here.
Awesome.
Great time.
As always, RP Experience is thrilled to have you on here. And we're here in Venture X in the podcast studio. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you, everyone.